Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
So we're moving again. After that half an hour delay, staring at the clouds, we're on our way to Bologna again at the proper speed. That was our first properly late train actually, so we're not doing too badly, but it is getting a bit late now. It's nearly 5:30 and we've still got to walk to the apartment. Welcome to Bologna. We finally made it. We've just got to go down this road pretty much in a straight line, but of course that doesn't mean we've got to cross this road. And look, zebra crossing, perfect. This is Bologna, home of arcades, as you can see on the side of every street, so you can walk everywhere without getting any rain on you or any sun on you. It's the full portico experience. This is what it's like being in Bologna. Permanent porticos. So this is our little apartment. Just checked into. I always forget to film while we're staying, so here we go. Kitchenette, living room, balcony, nice bathroom with shower. Again, we haven't done well on the bath front just yet. We may still win the bath at some point. Yeah, so it's a very nice little place that we're here for the next 3 nights. I'll just show you a little bit of the inside of the place that we're eating. This is Restaurante Donatello. Very impressive little place. Lots of famous people have been here apparently, plus art. And it's got real buzz. It's really nice. We're walking back through some more porticos. That is the word of the city. Porticos. We will be under porticos all the time. Back to where we were last night. Centre of town, to look at the main squares, the towers, and such like. So we've come inside the market. I'm going to attempt to make bolognese later, so we're going to need some of them. Give me some of that. So we're going to need some meat, obviously, some tomatoes, and it seems like it's a good place where I need to get it. So it's probably bustly today. It's a Friday, and everyone's on the move. It's not clear where they're going to, but they're on the move. So this is San Salvatore Church, but this sort of, rather, I'm assuming, slightly dirty yellowy orange building, this is the house in which Guglielmo Marconi was born, the inventor of radio transmissions. And you can see they've got a nice plaque to him there. It's not a very assuming place. It's quite a good view of a church if you like looking at churches, but then I don't imagine he was there very long. He was born there and then he moved out. His actual residence is about 15 kilometres outside the city, which is where he lived and worked and where he's buried. And here in the next square you can see this is the Prefectura on the right, police headquarters, and then that is the old city municipal building, old medieval town hall, and on the other side of that is the old square, and you probably can't quite make out the towers. Oh, you might be able to see a roof of one peeking out from behind. That's the inside of the building. The maple leaves are turning. This is all government buildings still. And this is the even older bit, the next courtyard. typically medieval arches and badges on the wall that are quite faded. And Alessandro the Seventh, Pope. It's obviously hung around these parts. And that's Toby Emanuel, obviously, because, you know, Italian unification and all that. It's a very typical medieval town building. And then this is the main square. See the unfinished cathedral. This would have been the biggest cathedral in the world if it had ever been finished. But as you can see from the marble, it wasn't finished. The facade wasn't finished. The back of it was never finished. It was going to have a couple of extra wings. Well, the Pope got upset because it was going to be bigger than St. Peter's in Rome, and so they had to put a stop to it. So they were basically sort of frozen in time at that point, and there it stayed ever since. So I've got a special wristband that allows me to take pictures and videos. This massive cathedral. So today, coincidentally, after 20 years of work, the Cassini space probe is going to crash into one of Saturn's moons, I believe, deliberately. A fiery end. It's making all the news at the moment. You know, Cassini was an Italian astronomer, and he was from Bologna. And in order to help him measure distances to stars and whatever, he designed a meridian line. This is it here, and it runs through the cathedral, and it allows precise measurements, essentially, of the subdivisions along the earth. You can see the markings in here. It runs the most of the length of the cathedral, and that's a very strange coincidence. I just happened to be here today. So Cassini update is not actually crashing into one Saturn's moon, it's crashing into Saturn itself. So that's pretty dramatic. The man's named after made this very long line. So we're on the roof of the basilica. That over there is another holy site, and from that, believe it or not, there's 4 kilometres of porticos that bring you all the way back to the city centre. I think you can make out some of them on the hillside there. And then these are the hills that sort of separate Bologna from Tuscany, really, on that side. You can come down, you've got all the way round to the 2 towers. It's quite a vista. Well, we made it down from the sketchiness of the scaffolding on the top of the building. That was a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It felt sort of untested, but we don't know how long it had been there. You just have to sign a waiver to go up there that basically says you accept all responsibility for everything that will happen to you, regardless. Anyway, this is the museum. I've forgotten the name of this museum. Anatomical Museum, I think, yeah. Museum of Anatomy. Those beautiful courtyard, as you can see, and nice clock tower. Well, there's one tower of the 2 towers. The other one is on the left. Can't quite see it. It's a lot shorter. We did stumble into an O-bag shop and bought some more watches, so that happened. But now we're looking for a 100 Monteditos to have some lunch. So we're wandering through the Jewish quarter, which was a ghetto. There's a little map, looks like a hand. And this would have been, back when they built it, as it were, there's gates on it, so they would lock it at night. So there was essentially a curfew The Jews kind of came to Bologna for a bit because they were told they could come as long as they stayed in this bit. Then they were expelled again, and then they asked them back again. And it was all a bit higgledy-piggledy, as is often the case with sort of Jewish history from this era. And welcome to 100 Montaditos, the Bolognese version. I mean, every 100 Montaditos is very similar. The menus are very similar, but they're usually in Spain, and other than the one we found in Verona, on this one, there's not a huge number in Italy. There's literally none in the UK, which is a bit of a shame. You get like lots of tiny little rolls with 100 different options for fillings. That's basically where it comes from. Plus they serve alcohol, which is nice. We're back at the towers, and we're going to go up the non-wonky one. That's the plan. It's quite tall though. So we've had quite a lazy afternoon. Doing a bit of wandering around, eating some ice cream. And now we're going to try and buy some genuine ingredients to make a tagliatelle al ragu, the Bolognese classic, by going to the market and buying some meats and veg and things. Right, we've done our purchases. We have celery and carrots and onion and minced beef and minced pancetta and triple strength tomato puree, and I think that's it. We now have to get some wine and some herbs. Okay, Bolognese, or ragu Bolognese style I should say. Pancetta, onions, celery and carrots in there with some seasoning and some oil. And then here we have mince. Here we are, tagliatelle al ragu. Admittedly, it wasn't the greatest serving attempt by myself, but it still looks very promising. Good morning. It's a bit milder today. We're off up the road to get on a bus train to go into the hills to visit the most holy site in Bologna, which is technically not in Bologna. It's up this way. More porticos. So the sanctuary basilica we're going to is at the end of a 4.5 kilometre stretch of porticos that comes out of the city and stretches all the way up the hill continuously. There's nothing, there's not many buildings on either side. It's through the countryside, but they've built these porticos so that they can do their annual procession, regardless of the weather, from the basilica down into the town centre. So rather than walk 4.5 kilometres in each direction, we can get a land train, which is going to take us to the other end. So this is our shuttle for the day. This is actually slightly quicker than the land train, but you can get the land train with the same ticket. So we might come back by train, we might come back by shuttle. Either way, the view's pretty big screens. You can see the market going on in Piazza Maggiore. So 660 arches later, you end up on the top of this hill in the fog, and lots of cyclists cycle up here. It's very steep indeed, so it's a bit of a challenge on the weekend. And here is the sacred basilica up in the clouds here. Here we are, the sacred Madonna of the Mists. Lots of triumphant cyclists posing on the steps. You see the mists rolling in. I mean, it's spectacularly misty. It's a bit of a shame. We did come up here for the view, but I mean, instead we've got the mists. So we had a bit of a look inside, walked down a couple of porticos. I'm not going to walk down the rest. It's quite chilly. we're going to go and get the train back down. Land. Hopefully this time we might get a land train and not a minibus. You never know. Train ride. Hopefully this one won't break down like the one in Verona. Jesus, that's quite acceleration. Quick, we can't get down a mountain as fast as possible. There's the sanctuary in the mist. There's no holding back.
Ben ritrovati a bordo del San Luca Express. Tante aziende e cantine locali di offrire degustazioni. Oltre alla Pasqua, l'arrivo della primavera.
It is traditional for Bolognese people to climb this hill each Easter Monday with their Easter Monday outing, taking picnic baskets filled with eggs to celebrate not only Easter but the arrival of spring.
We're back after the quite impressive pace of the express train. I think we're going to head back and put on some more appropriate clothing and then have some lunch. There's the cathedral running this day, town hall, towers, etc. We're off again in search of food down another portico, heading towards a little cafe to have some pasta. Well, that's pretty good. So this is where we just had lunch. They have lots of tortellini and I actually don't know what that is. There's some pasta cuts. We have different types of tortellini. They're currently making pasta here, as you can see, in quantities that you can't even begin to fathom. They'll chuck a load of eggs into a big flour well. Actually break the eggs on each other. That's quite clever. The University District. As I mentioned, Bologna is the oldest university in the world. 1088 it was created. They're very proud of that. And we're going to go and try and find the University Botanical Gardens, which are around here somewhere. Well, as you can see, the Botanical Gardens are closed because why would you open Botanical Gardens at the weekend? That would be mad. They closed actually at 1 and they closed all of Sunday as well. But there they are. I mean, that's where they are. It's a very small Botanical Garden, to be fair. We're going to go and see a bit of the remaining city wall now that still is in existence. I'm pretty sure you can't close a wall, but we'll find out. So these are the old city walls. This is the only stretch that is complete. Just around this corner. As you can see, it's not that easy to get over, which is kind of the point. And yeah, they got rid of most of it when they built this ring road, which is where there would have been a moat or some variety. But apparently there's 3 walls and this was the innermost. But this was probably the most secure. The others were very possibly wooden. Just sort of defensive posts. And a bit of old wall ends here. There's another one of the gates, the city's gates, which are still mostly intact, even though the walls around them have gone. So this is a lot of interconnected churches. Go from one, head to another. It's quite dark in here, but you should just be able to make out. It's all brick. And then you come out here, and there's loads of porticos, obviously, connecting other There's a little aerial map showing you all the different churches and how they're interconnected. It's quite a complicated arrangement. Check out the Saturday afternoon concert rowdiness. It's filled up a bit since we were here this morning, and we're the only people on the bus. Now everyone's here. We're back in Piazza Maggiore. We just got some amazing ice cream from a place called, well, translated called the Office of Ice Cream. I think it fulfills that criteria very well. I'm just going to wander back slowly without being hit by any bikes. Pack up a bit, prepare for travelling again tomorrow, and then find somewhere nice to eat. So this is where we've come for dinner. We're obviously having spaghetti al ragu because Bologna. Tagliatelle, sorry. And this is our third tagliatelle al ragu in 3 days. And this one's very, very good. So this is one of the many canals that actually runs underneath Bologna. They're all been covered over the years, so you can't see almost any of them except this one, which I'm not even sure you can see because it's very dark. But this is one of the few stretches where it opens out. So we've had dinner down here. It's very good. We're doing a last little wander around Bologna before we get the train tomorrow morning. We've come into a random church. Well, it's not random, this is quite one of the main ones here. I would say it's understated, but it's not really. It's absolutely massive. So as you do after dinner, you stumble into a church and they're like, oh, you can go up the bell tower. So going up the bell tower, I'm going to have to switch cameras to show you the floor because it's quite remarkable. So these are the stairs, and I use the term loosely, it's a slope with ridges in it. And yeah, and the roof above us is just this curved brickwork. That's amazing. This is how I like my towers. It is. This is exactly how stairs should be. Really, really barely stairs. I have genuinely no idea how high up we are at this point. Yeah, you could pretty much. There's totally jazz going on out here. Top of a bell tower and they're trying out bells, as you do. They're all from different eras and they all have different tones, as you might be able to hear. Not a lot of space. Got lovely shutters and an amazing view. This is now down a level. It's still quite a long way. If you don't believe it's quite a long way, ignore the cardinal. Look down. It's a long way. And the view is excellent. Towers galore. I don't know what this is in here. I think that might be a toilet. We should probably get back down now. We're now in the crypt. We've gone from up on high to down below. It's quite a good crypt, it's well lit. There's not many bones, only a few random bits of people. And, you know, I have no idea what some of this stuff is. It appears to be a map. So we're in a random tunnel under the crypt now, and it won't let you go any further than this, which is a bit of a shame because it gets sketchier by the minute. But broadly speaking, this is a tomb under here, and there's lots of crypts and graves. You probably can't see what's in here. Maybe you can. It's quite a lot of skulls. I'll give you some light. It's like a mass grave. Good. The ceiling's quite low. And there's just like maps of like where these graves have been under this cathedral. Exciting. Good morning. We are about to leave Bologna and the sky is blue. This is the view from our apartment, of lots of other apartments. But we've mostly packed up. We're about ready to go-ish. And that clock has stopped. Anyway, as I think I mentioned, our last stop is Florence, which is where we shall be going this morning. Goodbye Bologna, just a few more porticos to go. Very short journey that was predominantly underground or in cuttings, such as is the way high-speed rail works. So anyway, we're here, we're in Firenze. Well, there's the Arno, and here's our house on the Arno, which is where we're staying. I presume we don't go down the ramp. Maybe we do go down the ramp. Who knows? So that's our hotel there, overlooking the river. Here is the river, and it runs towards us, from town towards us, going this way. You can see some buoys out there maybe for the racing they do. It's a bit windy. We're going to walk back into town. There's lots of riverside bars overlooking course on both sides, and then there's this very nice hill with a church and a castle on the other side. Can't quite see the castle now, but you can see the church. Coming into town finally, past all the hills and the forts and the castles and the National Library. Guess when that was built? Pretty much guess by the architecture. So we've made it into the city and had lunch, had a pizza. And now we're going to get run over by a taxi. And we're just going for a little wander to try and find centre of town, have a look around, buy some leather, because that's what Florence is famous for. So here we are, Piazza della Signoria. You're already on a horse, presumably. Yeah, pretty standard. And then there's a lot of restoration work and things being put up. That looks like a piece of a bit of art, a bit of arting. It's kind of slightly hidden. That's the back of the Uffizi. The Neptune's fountain, just like in Bologna, is getting refurbished. Obviously all Neptunes are currently being refurbished. I'm just wandering around the market. I bought myself a new glasses case. I may still buy myself maybe a wallet, maybe a belt, who knows. You can buy anything as long as it's leather or a cushion cover. I mean, even the books are leather. The Duomo di Firenze. Did we go up the dome last time I think we were here, or did we go up the tower? I've definitely been up both at some point.
We went up
the dome.
the dome.
Yeah. The tower is exactly what you'd expect from a Tuscan tower. It's stairs round the side, so it's square shape, all stone, all the way. But yes, lots of opening points all along. This is the baptistry, which is quite plain compared to the actual Duomo itself. So this is Medici Church with a tomb in the round bit at the end where they buried a load of random Medicis. Well, not random ones, they're one of the most important ones. And then this is Cosimo, the first Cosimo Medici. Tell me there's Medici balls on the side. And it's genuinely faux emperor pose. If you were missing porticos, I mean, it's been literally, you know, couple of hours. Well then, look at these absolute beauties. Got frescoes on the inside and everything. Amazing. We are slowly wandering back to where the hotel bus picks us up from, to get back to the hotel and actually properly check in, because we've done the paperwork. We haven't seen the room yet, so hopefully we can do that. So here is our room. It's quite something. It's quite a lot. Chaise longue, television that's bigger than the world, massive bed, some champagne obviously, and then this is the view. This is quite impressive. A little balcony, there's a couple of chairs, out onto the towpath. You can see all the way down the river, both directions down to the hills. It's the way towards Siena and what have you. This is a wallpaper, believe it or not. I really like it. And then we have a bathroom, which actually has a bath, which is the first bath we've had. And that's a little porthole back to the main room. It's ever so nicely done. I don't know whether there's a phone here. Your guess is as good as mine. We're just wandering around the hotel, looking at all the different bits. The spa looks amazing. The swimming pool, well, I'll have to show you that maybe tomorrow. And yeah, the views are very good too. We're on the ground floor, just having a look at all the other floors because that's what you do. We are just walking back from a magnificent meal. Magnificent indeed, because Lorenzo the Magnificent was on the wall where we were eating. He is possibly the most famous Medici at the very least, as well as being my personal favourite Medici. He was the last great leader of the Medici house before it all went horribly wrong. His successor, incidentally, was called Piero the Unfortunate, which tells you everything you need to know about his reign. It was short. Yeah, so we're just walking back towards the hotel, through the back streets of Firenze. We made it back to the hotel. It's a reasonable sized walk, but it's very pleasant. Through the back streets and then along the river. Good morning. It's our last full day in Italy. It has been a bit mixed this morning, but it seems to have improved. Well, there's some suspicious looking clouds over here. So I'll now cut to a time lapse and see what it's doing this morning. The sky is very much greyer than it was yesterday, and a little cooler, and the ground is a lot damper. But you know, still a very impressive Duomo. So here's the Ponte Vecchio. Don't think I've approached it from this angle before. You can see above it there appears to be a selection of windows and what have you running along in the yellow. That is the Vasari corridor, which was built just so that the leader at the time could get from his palace to his office without being mobbed because of the unpopularity issue. And then the Medici balls, obviously. View from the Ponte. Back down to where the hotel is. 3 bridges down or so. Several million people all taking selfies over here. The Vasari corridor above us. The porticos of it. The Ponte Vecchio behind us. And we're just walking towards the Uffizi, which is over on the left here. So after a very sort of casual morning of looking at an old bridge, we just had some lunch here, and we're actually going to meander back so we can spend the day at the hotel, taking it easy in the spa is the plan. If we can cross this without getting hit by a Prius. And this is Piazza Santa Croce, which is where the what's the word I'm looking for? Florentine football occurs, where they cover the place in sand and what have you, and there's about 50 people on each side, and they attempt to kick a ball about, but they also kick each other quite a lot. There's some very nice old frescoes up on the wall here, and Machiavelli's tomb is in that church on the right hand side. This is Dante Alighieri, who we've been following around, it seems. We've seen him in Verona and where he was resident. I'm sure I've seen him in Florence, in Venice as well. And here he is by Santa Croce with his lions and his head eagle. And then here's a restaurant that's clearly owned by the Medicis, presumably. We've been wandering around trying to find some cannoli and we failed, but we have found a co-op, so I'm going to have to do a lot more exploration. So welcome to the swimming pool. It's a very small little indoor one. There's also a sauna and a steam room. This is the sauna, obviously, and then this is an ice dispensing unit, and this is the steam room, and this is an emotional shower. You press this button, and then it goes cold. And then it goes hot again after a bit of scenting. Get a mist. This is the outdoor pools cum jacuzzi, which under blue sky and sun would be lovely, but obviously we're not got any of that at the moment. Good evening. It is the final night in Italy, and the weather is, well, challenging. But we spent most of the afternoon in the spa, so we feel pretty refreshed. We're now going to walk to a restaurant we went to last time we were here, which we have a reservation for. We're heading back to the hotel. We had a very nice meal. Little place just up there on the right. And it's still raining. and we're quite tired, and we have to get up in the morning and get on a plane. Well, the plane's not till the afternoon, to be fair. We're gonna have a nice breakfast in the hotel first. We're nearly back. Got one more bridge. The river is very quiet and still and peaceful, unlike this road. It's very wet and noisy, but still strangely pleasant. Good morning. This is the view on the River Arno on Tuesday morning. And this afternoon we'll have a view on the Thames. Probably won't be quite so good. Won't have castles on the hill opposite, that's for sure. It's ever so still. It stopped raining about 15 minutes ago. More 1930s train pieces. This is Firenze's Centenarial railway station. We're waiting for our train to Pisa Airport, which is currently 10 minutes late, luckily, because the bus was also quite an ordeal to get here, so we've been slightly saved, but we also need the train to get at some point.